Hi, I am Mary Ellen Guy, and I am happy to have this opportunity to speak to you about how valuable SWPA has been as I have progressed through my career. And I think it can be equally valuable for you in yours. SWPA is the go-to safe place for women in public administration of all ages and of all stages in your career, whether regardless of the policy domain that you work in, whether you are a student or a practitioner or an executive, a young scholar or an old scholar, or a mature scholar. Over my lifetime, the annual SWPA breakfast, which is always held on the Monday morning of the annual conference, has grown to be the place where everybody who is anybody in the association shows up. And it's fun for me to watch that develop and become so institutionalized within the larger society. It's emblematic of the role that SWPA has had in ASPA to help advance women's issues, to help advance women's careers, to help advance women. So let me tell you how this came to be. In the 1970s and early 1980s, when I became active, ASPA meetings were a sea of suits and ties and, yes, wingtips. Women who had made it into leadership posts were few and far between. I think back to Nesta Gallus, Pat Florestano, Naomi Lynn, marvelous leaders who were so helpful to all of us as we learned our way. But SWPA has always been there to help all of us, to fill in those gaps, to provide the support network that each of us needs in one way or another at one time or another. I came into SWPA shortly after I'd completed my doctoral work, and I joined other ASPA sections as well, those that focus on the policy domains that I do my research and my teaching in. But SWPA was where I felt at home. It's where I could relax. It was a welcoming place, a safe place that helped women like me meet like-minded colleagues and to make acquaintances that have turned into friendships that I value so much. I encourage all women to become active in the section. The forces that resist women's full integration into the field are nowhere close to becoming extinct. They're not as obvious and as prevalent as they were in the 70s and the 80s, but they are still there and they will continue to be. Women's lived experience is different from men's and always will be, because gender cuts like a knife through every minute of every hour of every day. SWPA continues to be the welcoming, supportive place where it is safe to be who you are. It's safe to be yourself. It's safe to use your voice. It is there for you. I highly recommend it.